Hey y'all, it's Dream, and as you can see, I am sitting in one of my garden beds in the backyard, and that's because in today's video we are going to be talking about the future plans for the gardens for 2023 and where they're going to potentially be at. So in order to hear that announcement, you're going to have to stick around to the very end. So let's go inside and let's talk about the garden plan. Okay y'all, we made it back inside, but now that we're in here, I wanted to share a few things. I have gotten some more seeds since the last time I saw you from Botanical Interest. I'll go over those really quick with you so you can see them, so you'll understand the plan that is about to happen.
Okay, my turn.
And just a little disclaimer, the little one is inside with me, so...
my turn.
It's your turn?
I just made my turn.
Okay, sorry for the interruption. So we have gotten Blue Lake bush beans. I got sweet meat squash. I've got my cardinal basil. I got another one. Then I got more of the blue borage or borage, however you want to say it. I got chivril, Greek or true, I'm sorry, oregano, true Greek oregano. I got feverfew. I got some more of that is, I think it's Urtec or Uric blue wheat, because I just love it. I want to try it. I got more parsnips and verbena, sweet Thai basil, and then some homemade, more cucumbers, homemade pickling cucumbers. So those are the new seeds that I've gotten. I've also, since the last time I talked to you, I ordered my strawberry crowns to start in the next garden. Let me tell you what those were. I ordered I think it's Alban strawberries, Everbearing, Ozark, Evie, and I pronounce it Honey-O, but that might not be how you pronounce it, but Honey-O. And we'll do another video on those at a different time in a different video. But in this video, let's get to talking about this planting of the garden. So I kind of led on that things were changing here for us, and maybe even a garden location change, but you'll have to wait till the end of that to get, or the end of this video to get that announcement. So first let's talk about, I know a lot of people always want to know, how do you start the planning? How do you do it? So the first thing that I do, of course, the seed catalogs start coming in, and I start going through the seed catalogs and deciding if I'm going to order anything, what I'm going to order, and I write it down like this. Yeah, I do it old school. Write it down on a piece of paper. I put the company's name, the ID of it, and then I go in and I start ordering. And as I order them, I just highlight them off. And once I have all that done, then I know what I'm going to be putting into my garden, and I start going through all of my seeds that I keep in these photo. I get these on Amazon. I'm pretty sure you can get them cheaper at Michael's, but I like these colored ones. You can't get the colored ones at Michael's, they're just clear. So I think you can get them at Michael's for about $15 on Amazon. Sorry for the shaking on the table, I'll keep hitting the table. I got mine on Amazon. I want to say mine were $20 or $21, but I will link them down in the description. Once I go through my seeds and I know what I'm gonna grow, I write everything down. I said I was old school. Don't worry, we're going to technology here in just a minute for those of you who are like, oh my God, she writes it down on a paper. So, so I write it down on the paper, what I'm gonna grow, and you can see it's pretty extensive. I grow. Then I go back through and I start writing the dates of when I'm gonna start seeds. Once I have that all organized, I have it all organized, then we do the spreadsheets and the PDFs. And I will link this spreadsheet and this PDF down in the description below. Also, I want you to keep in mind, for those of you who are not in zone 8A with the expected last frost date of March 21st, these seed starting dates will not apply to you. You will need to look that up. And how you look up your last expected frost date, you can go into the Farmer's Almanac online, or you can just put in your zip code in Google and put the words expected last frost date, and it'll pop up for you. You don't have to, Google's wanting to get involved right now. You hear? Good Lord. But it'll tell you exactly when your last expected frost date. Now, when you start looking, I don't have a seed packet. You start looking at your seed packets. Almost all seed packets on the backs of them give you a guideline as to when, if you should direct sow it, or you can start them inside. So this one says direct sow, not recommended to start inside. This one, I'm pretty sure we can start inside, and it tells you if you're going to sow it, when to sow outside is 1 to 2 weeks after your average last frost. So if you're going to start it inside though, you would want to start this 4 to 6 weeks before your expected last frost. So that way when the time comes and you know the danger of frost is past, you can plant this into your container or outside in your garden, however you want to do that. But each packet will tell you, so you're going to have to look at your seeds, especially if you're new to gardening. Look at your seeds and see what that time frame is, because most seed packets are, like that one said, they're anywhere from 4 to 12 weeks before your expected frost date. So each one is different. So as I go through this list, you're going to hear things, and that's because some of these are 12 weeks, 8 weeks, 6 weeks, and 4 weeks. And so I break it down that way and when I'm going to start my seeds. So I don't start seeds all at once and then lose some of them. Now I do have a greenhouse that has heaters and I do have lights, but we'll talk about that in a different video and I'll show you how I set that up. So I'm going to go through this pretty fast and then once this is over, we'll talk about what the future holds for us. So, and I'm going to give you the dates as I go through this. Okay, seed starting calendar for 2023, starting on 1/7/23, all celery varieties. I will be doing pink plum, pink, and Utah, all large onions, sweet meat, red burgundy, Walla Walla, sweet Spanish yellow, red Weathersfield, and Utah yellow sweet Spanish. I will be starting all my lettuce, dandelion, and chard on this day, and those include Merlot, tennis ball, Tom Thumb, Roman, and just the rainbow chard, because that's my favorite one to grow. And the Italico, Rosso, Dandelion, and French Dandelion. I will also be starting all of my kohlrabi. I am doing the early purple Vienna, white purple, and then just the regular purple Vienna, and then I'm doing the larger Delacree white. I will also be starting my peppers, and when I do the seed starting video, I will explain why I start my peppers so early then. But we will, and sweet peppers, cherry stuffer, California Wonder Red, Cardinal Hybrid, Cornua, I must mess this up, Cornua de Toro Red, Kingston Resistant Giant, and Purple Beauty. Hot peppers will be the Pardon Cayenne Hungarian Yellow Chili, and that's all on the 7th of January. Then I will be starting my seeds on, I will be starting more seeds on the 14th. I will be starting my artichoke. And some people in Texas would tell you to probably, I should have started it like in the last week of December, but I kind of like to see mine harvest and bloom in the fall, so kind of push it back just a little bit. I don't think, as long as you keep them in some kind of 3 to 4 hours of direct sun, and then in our summers you want to make sure that when it's at the heat of the day that they're getting some kind of shade. So artichoke, the Violet de Provence, Green Globe Improved Purple and Green. Herbs, I'm going to start the Genevieve basil, sage, garlic chives, catnip, coriander, container oregano, container thyme, and chamomile. Flowers for Texas. And our native pollinators, we will be starting blue bonnets, blue and pink. I'm also going to go ahead and start my columbine. That's another one that probably should have already been started, but I just got the seeds because that's the way it goes. So I also start my tomatoes at this time. All of my tomatoes are 8 weeks from your expected last frost, and I like to give them 2 weeks after that. So our last expected frost here in north central Texas is March 21st. So 2 weeks after that is into April, and they should be just about the right size to go out into gardens and containers at that point. where I feel comfortable, that I feel like they got strong roots and they got strong stems and they've been hardened off long enough, you know, because after that 8 weeks, you want to harden off for 2 weeks. Different video, we'll talk about that then. So here we go. We got a lot of tomatoes going in. And I know as you hear this, you're like, oh my gosh, she's putting in a lot of stuff. How's she going to put that in her garden? Well, you just have to wait till the end to see. Okay, so tomatoes. We are going to bring back the black tomatoes because I had some people say, why didn't you grow the black tomatoes? Honestly, they're not black. They're like a deep burgundy and purple. Black cherry, purple, or Cherokee purple, and black creme. For our patio tomatoes, which are going to go in our green stalks and on you know, the little patios and everything, we're going to do Tiny Tim, Orange Hat, Micro Tom, Vernando Red Hybrid, Bush Cherry, Patio Choice Yellow, and Cherry Falls Patio. For the larger cherries, we're going to do Sweet Pea Currant, Sweet 100, my favorite, Large Red Cherry, and then the new one is Spoon Cherry and Sun Golds. For tomatillas, we're doing 2 different ground cherries this year. One of them is just a ground cherry. It's the pineapple flavor. The other one is Aunt Molly's. That's supposed to have a strawberry flavor, so that's new, and I did the pineapple for the first time last year, and I didn't start them from seed because I wasn't sure if I'd like them, so I bought a plant and I grew that, and I absolutely loved them. My little boy loved them too, because when they fall to the ground, he can pick them up and eat them. We're also going to do the standard Grande Rio Verde. Okay, so that was January 14th. Then we're going to move to February, and we're going to start these seeds in February. All of our marigolds are going to be started, and that's the Dwarf, the Cracker Jack, and the Kilimanjaro White. We're also going to be starting Bee Balm, Orange Hawaiian Marigold, Gem Blend Marigold, Anise Hyssop or Hyssop, Tomato, Strawberry Calendula, just the standard orange and yellow calendula, Safflower, Zoo Lights Calendula, Playtime Mix Calendula, the Barrage White and Purple, True Hyssop, Yarrow, we're going to do the Coronado Blend, all of our butterfly milkweeds to get ready for our new pollinator gardens that we're going to be putting in. And those will include the Wild Bergamot, Irresistible Blend Milkweed, Common Milkweed. We're going to be putting in all of our zinnias. And we'll also be starting Chivrel and a Thai Basil. Whew, that was a lot. Now, this weekend, I will be starting my potatoes, which will be the 7th, and I forgot to mention that, so I'm kind of backtracking. But I will be starting my potatoes not in the ground. I'll be starting chitting them, and I honestly, guys, I just go to Whole Foods and get organic potatoes, put them in a paper brown sack, put them in a dark place, and just let them do their thing. Chitting is just allowing them to kind of wither and create little bitty root stems that come off of that, and then from that we plant them. But excuse me, once we get to 2/6, when we'll have all our fingers crossed that we'll have this ready, we will hopefully be putting into the ground if the 4 weeks works. But if not, I may have to push it back a couple more weeks, and if I do, that's okay. Yellow Yukon, red potato, we're going to start our sweet potatoes because last year it took almost 9 weeks because I don't put it in the water. Sorry. Yes, I will be there in a minute. I don't put them in the water. I like the dirt method where we let them grow. So we'll be doing that. I'm also going to be starting my ginger, and these are all starting in the greenhouse too, by the way. The sweet potatoes, the ginger, and the turmeric will all start in my greenhouse. On 2/20, I will be starting the following beans. All of my beans, Kentucky Wonder, French Filet, Jade, Dragon Tongue, Royal Burgundy, and Blue Lake. And then we're going to jump to March. And since I've never planted the wheat, this is kind of a new thing for me. But we are going to be direct sowing the wheat and pretty much most of the pickles, but not all of them. So we're going to direct sow the wheat. And then we're going to start these cucumbers by seed in the greenhouse. We're going to do the So Long, the Muncher, and the Market 76. All these other ones have to be direct sown into the ground or containers, wherever they're going to grow. And that is Pick a Bushel Hybrid, the Hocus pickling, and then the national pickling. Those are all going to be direct sown. And then for more direct sowing, actually not direct sowing, we're going to seed start. We're going to do Kajari. These are our melons. Kajari, Rich Sweetness, Minnesota Midget Cantaloupe, Musk Melon, Honey Rock Cantaloupe, Summer Sweet, 5234 Hybrid, that's a watermelon, Solitaire Hybrid, that's a watermelon, Yellow Hybrid, and Golden Crown, both are hybrids. And then we'll also start in direct sow. We will direct sow our nasturtium, our verbena, and our feverfew. And I don't know if I'm going to do carrots for the summer harvest. I will definitely be doing them for, you know, the fall harvest, but I'm not sure. But if I do, regardless if it's in fall or for summer, carrots will be Emperor, Danvers, Scarlet Nantes, and of course parsnips. And then all of our sunflowers will be direct sown. And I missed a couple, and I'll have to back up on some other stuff in here in just a minute. But all of our sunflowers will be direct sown into the pollinator's garden. And let me tell you the ones that I missed for 1-7 that we'll be doing. And that's early jalapeno, daytill, Thai hot. Herbs will be Italian large leaf basil, dill, Italian oregano, thyme, bouquet dill, torretta dill, and cilantro. Flowers will be starting poppy, foxglove, Elysium, and I always mess this one. I always call it ridiculous, but that's not the name of it. Ranunculus, I think, is the name. And then back with the tomatoes on 114. We have some tomato slicers, Amish Gold Slicer, 42-day slicer, and Golden Jubilee. And then our large tomatoes, Ultimate Opener Hybrid, and Beefmaster. Like I said, this will be down in the description, so you can download it for yourself and you can see the dates, and you will have it for your calendar. Now, once this is done, let me show you the next step. I take an empty one of these and some masking tape. Let me show you. I haven't done it yet, but I will do it. Take one of these empty ones. At the top, you're going to put the date. Just put some masking tape on it. Put the date. And then the seeds that you're going to plant on that day, put them in the container, or you can organize them in another container, however you want to do it. That way, all you got to do is just grab what you need and go plant them.
Nintendo go.
I don't know where your Nintendo went.
Bill.
And then I just keep it in the container. I don't know if you can see the seeds kind of going down the side there. Keep it in the container. Keep it in the container, and as you need it, you just go and grab them. And, you know, this is easily carried everywhere you go. So as you can see, we are growing quite a bit of stuff. And I have a small urban house. It's not a very big garden. I have, what do I have up front? 7 garden beds up front, and I have 3 over here. I have 3 garden stocks and many garden bags and containers that I grow everything. But as you can tell, there's no way that I could grow all this stuff here. So as long as the bank continues to say yes, our gardens will be moving to this location. I can't give full details, but I can give you what the plans are for that garden. Most of it will be an in-ground garden. Now where it's going, nothing's been grown there, but obviously the soil's great because we had one of the worst droughts that we've ever had. And these pictures that I'm showing you were taken in October, so it had no water, and you can see the grass is green and it's healthy. So obviously the soil's healthy. So over in the next month, we're going to be going out there and getting the land prepped and getting everything prepped and ready for the garden. And most of it will be in ground, and as time goes on, we'll add garden boxes and stuff like that. But I'm excited to take this adventure with you guys. I'm a little nervous because it's all new territory, it's all new ground, and you don't know how anything's going to happen. Of course, we're going to have to bring in some soil because we're going to be doing a no-till you know, no till, no dig garden for the in-ground stuff. So that in itself has risk, and it has the possibility of greatness, and it definitely has the possibility of failure, because you just don't know. You can do your best research and hope for the best and listen to a company tell you how they're the greatest and they guarantee this and they guarantee that, and sometimes you just can't, you just don't know. It just takes one thing to go wrong. So as you can see, big adventures await us in the future, and I just want to thank all of you who are new, who showed up today and stayed till the end of the video to hear the announcement. I truly appreciate you coming by. If you want to see more videos like this, please think about subscribing. And for those of you who have been with me from the beginning and are still here, I want you to know how much I appreciate each and every one of you, and I am so thankful that you get to take this journey with me. Until I see you in the next video, you all take care of yourselves. You keep your heads up, and no matter how you do it, please keep growing. Bye-bye, y'all.